Hello! Hello, welcome to another how-to video. You can probably guess what I'm going to be doing on this one by the fact that I have a pumpkin here. Now, pumpkins sold in this country, Britain, aren't as big as the ones you get in America. I was over there a few years ago, like they're this big, and like the ones over here like here, but never mind. Anyway, so I'm going to be showing you how to carve this out. Okay, first of all we're going to have to open it up. A lot of people prefer to cut around the top of the pumpkin and scoop it all out. I, however, prefer to do it from the underside. That way you can hide the cut marks so the top is all one smooth, complete thing. And then the bottom bit, I find is easier. You can rest your candle on it, which I'll show you later, and then just plonk it on top. Now, so to do that, I'm going to cut it out. Okay, once you've cut all the way around, you need to take it apart, and then you've got all the flesh inside there. Now I've got myself a bowl here which I'm going to put all the flesh into. Now I have gone and purchased a basic kit for scooping out these pumpkins. Now you could get a nice large spoon and scoop out the insides, or you can use your fingers, which is what I'm going to do. Right, I want this part here to be as flat as possible, because remember this is the base, because I'm cutting it from the opposite way around to what most people do. And the candle's going to go on there, so I want that to be nice and flat. Got to get your hands in, just rip it all out. You can use a spoon if you want. I like to get my hands in there. So I am using the tool provided a little bit. Now, when you've got your pumpkin, it's very important not to drop it, because if you drop it at all, that area will bruise and that area will start to rot quite quickly, because the pumpkins don't last forever once you've cut them open, and anywhere that's been knocked or damaged, that area will start to rot away very quickly. So don't drop your pumpkin, don't drop it on your foot either. I mean, this wasn't a very big pumpkin, it's not very heavy, but if you get a really big one, they can be quite heavy, so dropping it on your foot is a bad idea. Sounds like common sense, but I know people that have done it. Okay, so the inside now is almost completely clear, just got a little bit more to go. Now it's too thick like this as it is. I want to thin it out a bit. Once spent all night carving out a pumpkin and like wolf and trees and stuff. Got a photo of it on the screen now. It's not the clearest picture ever, but as you can see, it had quite a lot of work from that. So as you can see, it's a bit fuzzy, but that took me hours to do that one. That was a big pumpkin. That pumpkin was like twice the size of this one. That is my hollowed out pumpkin, and that will fit on the base. Okay, now you need to choose your stencil. This is just one I bought from the shop. As I said, there are loads online. So basically I'm just going to choose one from here. Now these have got like perforated edges along, which is a bit strange because they don't actually match up with the picture. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So I think I'll just do a simple one for this one. So I'm going to do this one here. Now there are several ways of transferring the image onto there. You can get like transfer paper, so you stick that on there and you draw all around it, and then the lines go onto there, and then you just cut around the lines. This kit doesn't have that. This kit has one of these with a silly ghost face, but it's the roller bit I'm interested in, and then you roll across the image like so, and that makes little indentations along there, and that's what this is for as well. This is for the fine work. So that is what I need for that. But first of all, I'm going to need some tape. Tape it on. So this is the side I'm going to use. I'll turn this around in a sec so you can see. Okay, so I've taped my stencil on there. Now what I'm going to do, using this tool here and this tool here, I'm going to carefully mark around every single line. Okay, what I've started doing now, make it a bit quicker, I'm using this thing a bit like a pen now, rather than doing dots, which is what I've done in the past. I'm just like using it to draw an outline around the markings, and I'm hoping that that will transfer through to the other side and give me a guide to cut along. Okay, now I've gone over all the edges, and so what I'm going to do now is lift it off. I'd lift it off a little bit just to make sure you can see it. So as you can, don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but I've got the outlines of where I need to cut. Now while you're cutting, it's very easy to get very focused in just the bit you're doing and not see the bigger picture, and you can potentially think, oh, this is all going wonderful, and then you realise, oh no, I've made a horrible mistake when you actually look at it from further back. So it's important to have that perspective of being up close and further away. Also, keep an eye on the your pattern. And obviously, the more detailed the pattern, the longer it will be for you to cut out. Now, this isn't a particularly complex pattern I'm doing, but it's taken a fair amount of time. Now, for the purposes of the camera, what I've done on this side, I've started a nice big bit, just so you can see that I'm doing some work. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just do all the little fiddly bits first, and then come back to the bigger bits, so that it holds itself together a bit better. Now, as I said earlier, it's important to thin out the inside. That makes the carving a lot easier because you've got less flesh to cut through. Okay, that's what I'm up to so far. Now if you get to a fiddly area and the whole thing seems to be a bit weak, don't force it, just use the up and down motion of the saw. Let it cut naturally. If you try forcing it, you're going to get a break in the pattern and then all your work will be ruined. So just use the up and down motion and then let it cut itself naturally. Now I'm having to, at this point, support it on the underside as I push the knife through, make new cuts. So I've got to support it in places because I don't want it to break at this stage. Right, that is now all cut, and what I'm going to do now is wash it just to get rid of any excess bits, and that helps rehydrate it as well. Okay, I've come outside now to light the pumpkin. For health and safety, it's probably best to use one of the new LED candles that you can get. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those right now, but I do have a bunch of real candles. So what I've done here is I put the candle in there. Now remember I said to cut the base flat. This is why. So the candle I've got sitting on there, and that simply goes on top. Like so.